Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining today on this exciting session on Gift City. We at FinTrack believe that these type of educational webinars from time to time help all of us in imparting education on different niche category topics. Uh, we were uh, we were very happy that we have been able to impart one or two webinars a month on very different varying topics with the support of our speakers and our backend team. Today also we are having a topic Gift City, I think, which a lot of people have a lot of queries, and it's a very exciting area to practice also. Before we start today's session, I'd just like to show that what we are doing in FinTrack. I know you all are excited to start the session, but just give me 1 minute of your time. So we are building a community of finance professionals across India. We are so in India we have most probably around 70 to 80% of the finance professionals are all individuals and proprietary sectors, and they don't have the capacity or bandwidth to really give time on these content creations and create a digital footprint for them. So through the FinTrack community, what we are doing is that we are creating the content, we're supporting the content creation and digital footprint creations of these professionals across India. Right now, we have some 55 members on board. We are very happy through these content creation, through these digital footprint. We have been able to help these professionals in generating leads across spectrum according to their own area of expertise. Our team has reached out to most of the participants today on WhatsApp also. So in case you have any query, if you want to reach out to us, you can also send us an email or you can reach out to us on WhatsApp, and we will be happy to help you out in explaining in further details what we are doing in FinTrack. Now, without any further ado, I will introduce today's speaker. We have Mr. Darshit Shah, CA Darshit Shah, joining us from with his expertise in Gift City. Mr. Darshit Shah has worked extensively in this area, and he will bring with his expertise in this session on Gift City nuances, challenges, and opportunities. And now, why we are focusing on opportunities here is that without challenges, there cannot be opportunities. So, more to challenging the work, I think more opportunities are there for finance technicians like ourselves. We also have a speaker, Mr. Lekhak Agarwal, joining us from Jaipur. Mr. Lekhak Agarwal will also bring in his own area of expertise in this session. And I think with the two stalwarts we have today, it will be a very enlightening session for all of us. With this, I would hand over the baton of the session to Mr. Darshit Shah. So you can share your screen and proceed, because I don't want to waste any further time of the participants. Sir, you are on mute.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So I welcome you all on this Gift City seminar, this Gift City webinar, I would say. And I understand that you people are here on Saturday morning. So we are already on weekend. So I would like to make this webinar more on interactive more. And I am just providing you the basic information regarding the Gift City. So not that much of technical. So if you have any question, but you can ask me after the end of the session. So let me share my screen first of all. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, sir.
Just a minute. Is it visible now?
Yeah, now it's coming. So before we start the session, just one thing from the participants, kindly keep your videos on and your mic on mute. If you have any query, kindly raise your hands, or we will be giving you time between the sessions. Don't interrupt the flow of the speaker in between, because once the flow breaks up, it becomes very difficult for the speaker to keep up the momentum. And please keep the videos on, because see, the speaker also won't like to speak to a blank screen. So I will request everybody to keep their mics, speaker on, videos on and mic off. Thank you. Please, sir.
Thank you. So today we are going through what is the Gift City. what is the regulatory frameworks, tax arbitrage, global financial ecosystem, and we are just trying to make this analysis of GIFT City. See, I am here in GIFT City since 2021. So I have now more than 5 years of experience. I have seen every bit of their growing, how they are growing, how regulators are growing. And I am also in very good touch with regulator as well as GIFT authority. So GIFT City. So GIFT means Gujarat International FinTech Tech City. That is called GIFT City. So during our presentation, so these are the agenda which I would what I would like to discuss this. The first of all is the concept. Then what are the list of permissible activities that you or your client can do here in GIFT City? Then I will go through the overview of each permissible activities. In a one or couple of slides I have made for the each permissible activities. Then why GIFT City matters for everyone, for all the Indians, for all the professions. Then the most important part is tax incentive. Then after, if anyone want to set up their business, then what is the process to set up their business? Obviously, when there is opportunity, there is a challenges. So what the challenges one can face in GIFT City? And another, and the last one is where we are standing here in GIFT City. We have heard lots of things about GIFT City in the past, that it is a, it is a real estate project or it is a ghost city. But it is very important to see where GIFT City stands out today. So let's start with the concept first. So where this GIFT City concept come into the picture? So in 2007, right now our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, then Chief Minister of Gujarat, has visited Singapore. So when he has visited Singapore, he has seen that there are lots of, this Singapore and Dubai or even this Mauritius, these all cities are not a manufacturing hub. They are mainly dependent on the service industries. And when Narendra Modi has seen that how these people are developing, and then they come with the concept of International Financial Services Center, that is IFSC. Now, if we are talking about the GIFT City, the first and foremost thing people are looking for, what is the infrastructure, whether there are proper buildings are there, or whether there are a proper residential status and all the infrastructure amenities are there or not. So GIFT City is the first smart city in operation in India right now. So there are 27.7 million square feet area, and right now there are around 15 million square feet area has already been developed, and around 20 buildings are in operation in GIFT City. When I'm talking about GIFT City, both domestic part as well as IFSCA part, that is SEZ part. So GIFT City comes under SEZ part. SEZ, that is Special Economic Zone. So when you are coming into GIFT City, then you need to take the approval when you want to start your business. So first of all, you need to take the approval of SEZ permission. You need to take SEZ permission. This is the first step, and then you need to go for registrations and everything that I will cover later on my another topic of business setup process. So this is the vertical infrastructure. It is an integrated district cooling system, that is DCS system here. Here is the automated waste collection system, and here it's the underground utility tunnel. So GIFT City is the first city in India where the tap water is the drinking water, like what we are seeing in foreign countries. Further, when you are coming into GIFT City, you cannot see any outdoor duct for the air conditions, because they have integrated district cooling system, which is operated by in a one premises. The whole these 20 buildings are getting the connection of this integrated district cooling system, this DCS. So this is completely, GIFT City is designed to be a technological advanced, sustainable, future-ready financial ecosystem. So you can say all the buildings here in GIFT City is completely green buildings. It is it's green building. So when coming to GIFT City, so who is regulating this GIFT City? So GIFT City regulator is known as IFSCA, that is International Financial Services Center Authority. They are established in 27 April 2029 during COVID period. This IFSCA regulator has been introduced. IFSCA Act has been enabled on 2029. So IFSCA absorbs and exercises the consolidated power of all domestic regulators like RBI, like SEBI, IRDA, and PFRDA. So when you are coming to here to start up any business, you need to get one approval only, and that is IFSCA, and not like domestic that you need to take the SEBI approval, RBI approval, or IRDA approval. So here is the unified regulator. And this unified regulator has superseding power of SEBI, ERDA, RBI, and this PFRDA. And the very good and very important thing is that these regulators are very receptive regulators. They are easily available whenever you want to discuss them something, when you need to have, when you are going for any appointment, they are very easily available, and they are very receptive. They are ready to listen your questions, and they are ready to implement your suggestion as well. So here is the jurisdiction arbitrage. That is how IFSCA is different from domestic tariff area. That is TTA, that is normal India. So for FEMA purpose, GIFT City is considered as outside of India jurisdictions, and hence the operational currency in GIFT City is any currency other than INR. So most of the people are using as a books of accounts, their financial preparations and everything here comes in USD and not in INR. Okay, you can convert it in INR for income tax and GST purpose. That's one thing. But here the functional currency, you can say functional currency is USD. And there are fully convertible with another 15 foreign currency, not only USD. They have given 15 foreign currency in which you can do your businesses. The 15 currencies like USD, then AED, Singapore dollar, Australian AUD, Australian dollar, like this currency. Even Russian ruble also they have permitted. The completely this law governed by the Indian jurisdictions but treated as offshore tax resident. So geographically this is in India, but for FEMA purpose and for law purpose it is considered as outside India. So the most important, what are the permissible activities? So we have seen the infrastructure, we have seen the regulators, but what are the permissible activities that one can do here from GIFT City? You can do, or you can suggest your client that if they are fall in any of this business, then you can definitely ask them to explore the idea of GIFT City. So the first is CMI regulations, that is Capital Market Intermediary Regulation. So CMI regulations allows broker-dealer, distributors, debenture trustees, investment advisors, PMS people to do their business under the CMI regulations. Another is banking. Banking regulations is there. So any bank can come here in GIFT City and can do their business. Another is the fund management regulations. So this FMA regulations, you can say it's a game changing. It's come in 2022. It's introduced in FMA regulation is introduced in May 2022, and that is a game changer. After that, the whole scenario in GIFT City is changed. We will discuss in detail on later slide regarding this fund management regulations in detail. Another one is reinsurance. So nowadays, lots of reinsurance, foreign reinsurance companies are coming here to do their reinsurance business in GIFT City. Another one is aircraft leasing, ship leasing, then BATF, that is bookkeeping, accounting, taxation, and financial crime. You can say it's type of outsourcing activities. So once you are doing this, your outsourcing activities, accounting activities, or your bookkeeping or taxation activities from your unit registered with GIFT City, then it is completely tax-free. So we will see later on how this BATF work here in GIFT City. Another is fintech and techfin. It includes lots of fintech activities like softwares which is related to BFSI sectors, and this PSP. Nowadays, this payment service provider. This payment service provider application is one of the getting very much traction in GIFT City. Foreign universities, foreign campus, you can say. The foreign university campus, there are 4 or 5 already in operational in foreign university campus. Another is GTC, that is Global Treasury Centers. So nowadays, lots of big companies like Reliance or like Adani, they are looking here to set up their office for this Global Treasury Center. And the last is TAS, that is TechFin Ancillary Service Provider, the advisor like us. Advisor like us, what type of services they can provide, that is provided in tax regulation. So we will go through overview for all these regulations, what is applicable and what is not applicable to this activity in GIFT City. So first of all, this CMI regulations, that is capital market intermediary regulations, which come into effective from 2021 and which is amended in 2025. So under these CMI regulations, you can capital market infrastructure, capital market intermediary regulations, you can do the business of broker dealers. So right now there are more than 100 brokers is registered in GIFT City. Then you can act, that broker dealer can act as a professional member or clearing member as well. Then there are lots of distributors here in GIFT City. So distributors can do their business for distributing the GIFT City product or GIFT City or product of Indian product to the GIFT City funds as well. Then investment advisors also can do their business by registering themselves under the CMI regulations. The another one is another important is this global banking ecosystem. So banking are here. So there are more than 40 banks are registered with GIFT City, including 18 foreign banks. 17 Indian banks are registered and 2 global administrative offices are registered. So cumulative banking transactions right now is more than $1,365 billion. So one can put it here as a strong asset base and diverse, and one bank can provide this diverse and resilient business here from GIFT City. So any bank who is situated at New York or London or Singapore or anywhere in the world can come here and open their branch office here. So here are so when you are trying to come to open a bank under IFSCA, then these are the setup and compliance regulations. So you can under banking regulation of IFSCA, you can have your IFSC banking unit as a branch or as a 100% subsidiary of your foreign banking company. There are minimum capital requirement. That minimum, if you are in branch form, then you must have minimum $20 million capital requirement. Or if you are in subsidiary, then you must have around $50 million capital requirement. This is the regulatory requirement that one has to follow. There are some exemption compared to domestic India. So here the banking IFSC banking unit, that is called IBU. IBU doesn't require to have a that doesn't require to have compliance with this cash reserve ratio or this statutory liquid ratio. They are exempt from fulfilling these conditions. But yeah, they have some liquidity requirements, liquidity leverage ratio, and net stable fund ratio. So if you can go through these banking regulations, you can have a better idea of what type of activities banking can do here in GIFT City. Another and very important thing is this fund management regulation. So as I spoke earlier, this FME regulations. So FME regulations earlier introduced in 2022, May 2022. Earlier regulation called AIF regulations. So fund management regulations is similar what in SEBI we are calling this AIF regulations. That is alternate investment fund regulations. This is the similar to fund management regulations. So in fund management regulations, so you have to create 2 entities. One is FME entities, that is the entity which is managed the fund, entity. So one is the FME entity and another is the fund entity. Fund entity is the entity in which the corpus of the fund will come, and that corpus will invest either in India if that is inbound fund, or outside India if that is outbound fund. So right now, more than 350 registered FMEs there, and more than 10,000 investors right now working in this fund management entity. And that cumulative asset commitment is more than $35 billion, not million, but $35 billion. And actual fund raise is around $20 billion right now. So when you see FME, which is the concept of IM entity in domestic India under SEBI. So here in under IFSCA, there are 3 types of FME, that is registered FME, non-registered FME, and authorized FME. So any venture capitalist or angel capital or any small business, if they want to start, then they can go with authorized FME. Authorized FME can invest only in startup business. Registered FME non-retail. Registered FME non-retail is it's like a private placement practice, and they can invest in category 2 fund, like unlisted entity, like venture capital, and like this type of funds. Retail entity is the retail fund. Retail fund can invest anywhere, listed, unlisted, venture capital, angel fund. So these are the three type of FME that you need to first of all register, and then after you can launch your fund under FME regulations. So there are some setting up. There are some regulations. There are some limitation that regulations that how this FME works in GIFT City through FME regulations. So if you are going for investors to approach to invest in your GIFT City fund, the minimum requirement is USD $150,000 if it is non-retail entity. In case of retail entity, it depends on the fund. If you see the latest fund of PPFS, they are taking the investors at the minimum threshold limit of $10,000 as well. If you see the Tata fund, they are taking in $1,000 as well. But if you are going for category 2 fund, the minimum investment per investors is $150,000. And you also have to put your skin in the game contribution. FME has also need to put skin in the game contribution in that fund entity. That is between 1% to 10%. So as I said earlier, there are retail capital scheme, there are angel capital scheme, there are venture capitalist scheme also. So I think there are more than 300 fund also registered with GIFT City. So if any of your clients want to invest in GIFT City, then according to their objective and according to the strategy of the fund, you can definitely connect with any of this fund situated in IFSC. There are distributors and third-party management. So what happens that when you want to set up any fund in GIFT City, then the minimum requirement is a network criteria you need to fulfill. If you are coming for non-retail fund, then also you need to fulfill with $5 lakh million. This is the minimum network criteria. If you want to done away with this criteria, then you can use any third-party management, any FME which is already situated in GIFT City. You can take the platform of that FME and you can straight away raise your fund. You can straight away launch your fund. So this is a very welcome change by IFSCA, which was not earlier in original fund management regulations. But by looking to Singapore or Mauritius, they implement this third-party management regulation. Here is also in GIFT City as well. Another is relocation of offshore funds. So when you have your own regulated entity, when you have your all on India's fund management entity in GIFT City, then there are lots of funds from Mauritius has relocated to India. There are some funds from Singapore is also relocated to India because the FME regulation is at par with that regulation in that jurisdictions as well. So right now around 25 scheme which is already relocated from either Mauritius or Singapore to GIFT City. So NRI and OCI investment is so why so nowadays what happened that when you are approaching any NRI investors, then they insist you that we are fine to invest in your fund, but the one condition is that you need to that they will invest through your GIFT City fund only. Why the people are saying this? Because by doing that they have three advantages. The first advantage is that taxation. So they are not supposed to prepare any income tax return, or they are not supposed to take PAN number when they are investing in any GIFT City fund. Another is the this forex leverage, because they are investing in USD only. So when you are investing in for example say 2 lakh USD, when you are investing in any fund, whatever the return you are getting back in USD only. And the third is the redemption is very easy. Redemption is like when you are applying for any mutual fund redemption, this is like that easy. So redemption is also easy, because for any NRI or any foreign investor, there are back of the mind, there is always one question, there is always one doubt that okay, they're investing in India, but whether whenever they want to back, when they get that money back or not. So through GIFT City, they are solving this type of question. So this is the one of the reason why most of the NRI prefer to invest in India through GIFT City fund only. So tax regulation that we will comment on later on.
So can we have a 15-second break so that anybody has any query they can ask now, or whether you want
Yeah.
to cover something else?
Sure.
So I think there's already one query which Mr. Ninad Mehta has asked. Mr. Ninad, if you want to unmute yourself and ask directly, you can do that, or I can read on behalf of you also. Okay, so he has messaged in the chat box, is it possible to bring investment into Gift City account and park in it? How to transfer funds from Gift City account to current account?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Yeah, I'll repeat, sir. So his question has two segments. The first is it possible to bring investment into Gift City account and park in it?
No. The investor is NRI or resident investors?
So that is not completely mentioned. And second part of the question is how to transfer funds from Gift City account to a current account. I think by current account, he means normal current account in Indian bank. So what I think he's trying to ask is that whether there's any provision or there any issues in transferring funds from Gift City to a normal Indian current account.
So by individual, you cannot do it.
Okay.
So by individual, if you are NRI, then if you can open account in Gift City, that's fine. But that Gift City fund, you cannot transfer into your Indian fund.
So for example, I'm just expanding his question that I have a entity in Gift City and receive some funds from foreign NRIs or foreign entities. I cannot transfer that fund from the Gift City fund to my other entity in India, domestic part of India, to a current account and use that.
So if you are registered with fund management entity, if you have fund, correct? So in that case, you can take the money of your investors into your fund account, and from your fund account, you can, through FPI route, you can invest into any of the company in India. But for that matter, you have to take the license. You have to comply with the network requirement and everything.
Okay, got it. Mr. Ninad, I think the speaker has tried to answer your query, but in case if you could have elaborated further, we can take that question. I think we have Mr. Ajay Nagpal, sir. Kindly unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hi, everybody. Incidentally, I visited Gift City in last 6-7 months along with the CA delegation. And 2-3 points I would like to add to Mr. Shah's notings basically. And then I'll raise my query also. One, I just found 3 buildings operative for IFC. The Gift City is actually a domestic area, except for the 3 buildings which are operational there. The rental over there is around 135 rupees per square feet. Small offices. And on top of it, the time which IFSCA was asking, in the seminar, when I asked the ED over there, what is the time span to set up bring an investor and get the approvals? That's a 3 months time. Incidentally, I worked in other SEZs, overseas also. They don't act like so slow the way we are working there. They don't give so expensive infrastructure the way we are giving the limited infrastructure. The concept is very good. It's too good. I want to set up an office there. I want to bring my investors there. But you have the teething issues to address there. I'll come to my query specifically now. Mr. Shah, this particular, I have an investor basically in US who would like to bring his funds through Gift City and invest in the mini township in India. Now, what is the route you're suggesting for that? Let's say he has to invest $5 million only. And today, Indian government is asking dollars. So if we open a company there and he brings the funds there and we invest the funds from there to Indian township, registered township basically, will that be a viable proposition?
No, I don't think so. It is a viable proposition. So the better approach to do is that better that you create a fund, you take this money of your investor on that fund, and that fund can put this money on the township. And what is the payback period? So during how much time you are expecting?
2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. Perfect. So I think this is the perfect case. that you bring your money, your client's money in any of the fund in GIFT City, and that fund you can invest in township. Again, the township, when you are talking about township, so exactly what type of investment? It is a listed company, it is unlisted company, what type of investment?
It's unlisted basically, and FDI permits that. In the construction, they permit the.
Correct. So you can, so if FDI permits, then you definitely can do that. Another option is that if you don't want to set up your own fund, then there are lots of category 2 funds are there. You can approach any of that category 2 fund are there. They will create a specific scheme for your client if the investment is $5 million. And through that, you can invest that fund into any of the unlisted company in India.
Actually, you will appreciate we are also chartered accountant and practicing. One thing I found is like if I go through the FME route, basically, either I'm handing over my client to him, one. Number two, if I ask to set up a fund for him, that's a tedious process. Now, what is the negative point in setting up a company there through ROC, IFC, what you have, and bringing funds in that company and investing? What is the negative in that vis-a-vis the fund?
So vis-a-vis a fund, so this is the type of NBFC, correct? You are taking the money of your client.
Investment company.
Correct. You are taking the money from your client.
Investor will be taking equity in that.
Investor will taking the equity in that in GIFT City company.
In the IFC company. I will not use the word
GIFT City.
GIFT City is a misleading word actually.
Correct. Okay. IFSC company.
Yeah.
You are taking the money from the IFSC company, and through IFSC company you are investing into the
Indian project, mainland Indian project.
So I need to check that whether it is permissible or not, and then I can come back to you on that.
Okay. Please do share your connect details. Since you
definitely, I will definitely come back to you. I will definitely come back to you.
We'll be really happy to have the local help there.
Yeah, definitely will do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay. Anybody has any other query? I think, Mr. Darshil, we can continue.
Yeah. Fine. So let's straight away then come to this task regulations. That is TechFin and ancillary services regulation, which come into the picture in 2025. So as a advisors, as a chartered accountant, as a company secretary, or as a consultant, we can provide this type of services to our client. So these are the services are actuary services one can provide if they have actuary license. Then advisory services, asset management support services, auditing services. So you can see the chartered accountant from there in GIFT City as well. Business process outsourcing, customer care support services as well. Compliance management services, which includes assessment of internal control system and integrated reporting, financial reporting, broad reporting, annual reporting, other regular reporting requirement as well. Then this enterprise governance related support services, fund administrator services. So there are lots of fund administrator in GIFT City which supports the fund accounting and fund administrator businesses. Then human resource and payroll processing services, IPS, that is insolvency professional servicing, knowledge process outsourcing, legal process outsourcing, legal services. Then this management consulting services, market support services, outsource services which are not covered above other schedules, risk management services, secretarial services for company secretaries, broking services for leasing activities, and supply chain management services as well. So these are the services that you can provide it. Then trusteeship services. So almost all the trusteeship company that are in GIFT City, because when any FME or when any fund is registered in GIFT City, they have, if they are in trust form, most of there are in trust form. So they mandatorily have to open any trustee and fund administrator. Then valuation services for any valuer, voice broking services, family of office support services, global mobility services. So these are the services which is mentioned in that task regulations that one can provide as a TechFin and ancillary services provider. So professional like us can provide this type of services. See, these are the very broad. This is very broad type of services. You need to determine exactly what type of services you want to do, and then you need to meet with the regulator to discuss this, whether it is permissible or possible or not. Another is insurance and reinsurance. So as I told you, there are lots of reinsurance company coming here in through GIFT City. To their they are forming the branch office here. For example, Doha Reinsurance or Kuwait Reinsurance, Singapore Reinsurance, they have their reinsurance their branch here in GIFT City, and through IFSCA they are doing their business in foreign currency terms. So it is one of the very this reinsurance business attracting very much traction right now. This aircraft leasing and financial leasing system, through aircraft leasing system, you can have operating, you can give this aircraft leasing on lease. So what happened that why this aircraft leasing services is getting very much traction in GIFT City. So if you see our aviation market, Indian aviation market is climbing up like anything, is going up like anything. There is one survey suggesting that next 14-15 years, the aviation marketing is doubling what right now they are in. So for aviation market, for growing up to mitigate this requirement, what you have, you must have number of aircraft. So nowadays there are lots of aircraft manufacturing company like Boeing or Airbus. So that is so getting aircraft is not challenge right now. The challenge is getting a trained pilot. Getting a trained pilot is challenge because we have very few aircraft training school, and all this aircraft training school has scarcity of this trainee aircraft. So to get so earlier what happened that they are getting on lease all these trainee aircraft either from Dublin, that is Ireland, or Singapore or Dubai. But now when we have this regulation of aircraft leasing here in GIFT City, then people are getting then this aircraft training school are getting this aircraft on lease from here in from any entity registered with IFSCA. So by registering in aircraft leasing entity, you can operating lease, finance. There are permissible activities are operating lease, finance lease, sales and lease back, asset management support services. So Air India has their office here in under IFSC. Then Indigo have their office in IFSC. Akasa has recently opened their office in IFSC as well to get their aircraft on lease basis. Another one is ship leasing. So ship leasing is also getting not that much of aircraft leasing attraction, but still there are 25 ship leasing activities here in GIFT City under IFSC. Another one is this BATF services. That is bookkeeping, accounting, taxation, and financial crime crime services. So this BATF services also you can provide your services to your client that is situated outside India. So BATF services, your client must be either situated at GIFT City or that is situated outside India. You cannot serve any client which is reside in domestic India. So this bookkeeping, accounting, taxation, and financial crime activities also getting good traction. Gujarat government scheme is providing this subsidy to this BATF and this fintech entity as well. So I think this type of subsidy is nowadays available for each and every state. So if you see this Gujarat policy, then they are providing 25% of capex support, and they are giving 15% of OPEX support cashback. Fintech and TechFin. So you can do any fintech and techfin activity which is prescribed under that regulations, prescribed under that framework. They have given illustrative list of around 40 to 50 techfin and fintech activity. The main condition is that your customer should be from BFSI sector for this fintech and techfin for techfin hub, because IT word is a very large word. IT word is a very large word. In information technology, you can provide any type of services, but to eligible any services in IFSCA, your services must be relating to BFSI sector. Foreign universities, there are already foreign universities are working. University campus here working. Deakin University from Australia is the first who has opened their campus here in IFSCA. Then Queen's University Belfast, Southern University is also coming up. Wollongong University from Australia has also started their campus in IFSC. This Treasury Global Center opportunity. So what I spoke earlier, this Treasury Center opportunity is also one of the good thing that now coming up. So regulators are coming up with more clear framework on this Treasury Center opportunity. So we are waiting for that. Once it is available, then I think it's good opportunity for manufacturing entity as well to have set up the Treasury Global Treasury Center. So why this GIFT City matters? Why this GIFT City is getting so much traction nowadays? So there are some economic benefits like capital inflow. It attracts global capital and depends on financial market, employment generation. Once you have office in GIFT City, then definitely you can hire some people, and there are also some of the requirement to hire the people. So you can generate this employment generation as well. Infrastructure development, infrastructure is also a true class. So sir has said that they have seen just 3-4 buildings, but there are around 22 buildings are under construction in IFSC area only, and there are another 3 buildings are ready by end of the couple of months as well. So there are lots of co-working space available as well. Another thing is the strategic benefits, that is global positioning under compared to other IFSCA like Singapore IFSC or Dubai or Mauritius or Cayman Island. Then regulatory leadership is also there, and there is the financial inclusion. So GIFT City is not just a financial center; it is a catalyst for India's next phase of growth and global influence. Tax incentive. So these are in recent budget. They have come with the the earlier Income Tax Act 1961. There is a section 80LA. So they have extended the benefit of 100% tax holidays for from 10 to 20 consecutive years, from 15 to 25 years block. So when you are starting your business, whatever the income you are earning, your business income are getting completely 100% tax holiday for 20 consecutive years out of 25 years of block. If you are in LLP, then you have to pay 9% of AMT, that is alternate minimum tax. There is a 0% of security transaction tax. There is no commodity transaction tax, no stamp duty, and even GST is also, there is no GST for any services you are procured, or no GST for any services you are provided that your clientele should not be in domestic India. Your clientele must be either in GIFT City or outside India. So these are some of the cost versus benefit for employers as well. The costs are okay. These costs are higher if you are looking at to domestic India, as sir suggested earlier during our earlier conversation. The cost is higher, definitely higher compared to Ahmedabad or Baroda price, but it is definitely lower than other IFSC jurisdictions like Singapore and Dubai. So, and you are getting the employer, so employer cost is also lower compared to other jurisdictions here. So there is a benefit of cost benefit versus cost versus benefit for employers as well, and they are getting 100% taxation benefit. This is a walk to work lifestyle and ease of living. So there are residential buildings which are coming up. So once this residential building are coming up, then there is a walk to work lifestyle and ease of living in IFSC as well. Now, when we are coming up to this business setup processes, so this business setup processes is.
Sorry to interrupt. Can we have a 10-second gap, because I think we are moving into a new section. We can just ask the audience or the participant if they have any query till. I think Mr. Ajay Nagpal, you have wrote in the chat box, I think. Rashidji, Mr. Ajay Nagpal had written that kindly elaborate on the MAT percentage, minimum alternate tax.
So minimum alternate tax, if you are a private limited company and if you are follow that new regime, that is section 115, I think ABB or ABA, then there is no applicability of MAT on your private limited company. But if you are LLP, that is limited liability partnership, then in that case, the MAT AMT is applicable on your profit, on your book profit, that is 9%. Since you are in IFSCA, the rate is applicable is 9% compared to domestic India, which is I think 15%, 15 or 18%.
Mr. Janakpal, I hope this answers your query. Okay. And I would like to add one point, sir, Mr. Rashid, with your consent, that when we are comparing the cost of GIFT City, we should not compare the cost with Baroda or any domestic Indian city, because the idea is to compete with Singapore and other tax havens. So we have to see that what is the cost there and what are the benefit people will get when they incorporate an entity in GIFT City as compared to what they're getting in Singapore, and not in like you said, the costing is and all maybe higher as from Ahmedabad and all, but it is definitely lower as compared to Singapore. So the target audience.
Correct. But what happened that the general mentality is there when I am sitting in Ahmedabad, then I am going to compare that price to GIFT City. Correct. So what you are saying is perfectly right. When you are in IFSCA, when you are earning in your dollar, your currency is in dollar, then you need to compare yourself with the other jurisdictions like Singapore, Dubai, or London. Correct, and not in not anything in India or Mumbai or something like that.
But Mr. Rajanakpal has, I think, hit the nail that we come from India, thus incremental cost hurts. So he, I think it's more like a traction. It's more like a concept.
So, sir, I am giving you my own example. I have office in Ahmedabad and I have office in GIFT City. In Ahmedabad, I am paying the rent of 45 rupees per square feet, fully furnished office in Ahmedabad. While in GIFT City, barefoot shell, I am giving a rent of 130 rupees per square feet. Correct? So you can see the difference. You can see the cost difference. But again, the same rent, if you compare with the Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or in Singapore, then it is much lesser in IFS. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Rashid, one question from my side. What are in one of the slides you mentioned the educational institutes which are coming up, and so what are the benefit of these educational institutions opening up in GIFT City? Like, is there any specific exemptions or tax benefit which, like you said, Australia education or something is coming up in GIFT City? So
correct. So there are two universities from Australia, Deakin University and Wollongong University. They already have started a business. So whatever earning they are earning from here, they are getting tax benefits.
So they have opened a proper university where they
campus. It's a small campus. It's a small university campus, and the courses and curriculum is also very well defined. It is related to fintech and techfin only.
Okay.
It is relating to finance only.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any other question till the slide which have been covered so far? You can write in the chat box or raise your hand. I think no further question, Mr. Rashid. You can continue, sir.
Yeah.
1 second, sir. Mr. Nakpal had asked another question. Is any idea on co-working cost?
So co-working cost is depending upon
spaces.
Yeah, co-working space is depending upon the number of seats you are taking. So if you are taking 2 to 3 seats, it's around 18,000 to 19,000 per month per seat. If you are taking more seats, 7, 8 or more seats, then it might come down around 15,000, 16,000 per seat per month. So nowadays, people are prefer to take this co-working space only, because the people also want to taste the water first of all for the first couple of years, and then they are once lots of buildings are available, then pricing also expecting to come bit down.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Another question is there any option of having a virtual office? And can we incorporate a company from these co-working spaces?
So virtual office means your registration office should be based out of GIFT City only. based out of IFSC only.
Okay.
And you
And
have
can-
to actually work from there. You have to appoint principal officer, a compliance officer. You have to appoint a staff from there, and you have to work from there only. Whatever the revenue you are generating, you have to justify that you are working from that only, there only. So virtual office concept is not there.
And can we incorporate companies from these co-working spaces? I think that is not.
Yes. That is permissible. So you can give the address of co-working space as your register office address.
I think these are the only queries we can continue, Mr. Rashid.
But that co-working space also should be based out of GIFT IFSC.
IFSC.
Yeah.
Please continue, sir.
So business setup process. So the business setup process. So Nakmal sir said that it is taking 3 months time. So with due respect, if you go in Dubai to set up any fund, it will take 9 to 12 months of time. After getting approval from FATF, correct? So Dubai also need to do lots of, this compliance work and everything. So setting office or setting fund in Dubai is also nowadays, it's not easy. People are saying that you can open a bank account or you can you can register your office in GIFT City or in Dubai is very easy, but nowadays it's not easy at all. So compared to other jurisdictions, 3 months time, it's still a reasonable time to set up a fund or to set up any global treasury office or set up any bank or anything. Now come to this business setup process. So as I told you earlier, since GIFT City is in under SEZ area, first of all, you need to take the approval from SEZ. Once you get the SEZ approval, so you need to file form on Suite portal. So that is a single window information portal. So once you file your application on Suite portal, that application is automatically transferred to SEZ department as well as regulator department. Once you get the approval from SEZ, then there are lots of paperwork that you need to done because of you are in SEZ, that you need to submit bond letter of undertaking, then you need to submit the request for eligibility certificate, tax exemption certificate letter, then acceptance letter that you need to give for the terms and condition which is mentioned in LOA. Then after GST registration, IEC registration, RCMC registration, then nowadays this Shop and Establishment Act is also implemented in IFSC. So you also need to take this registration. Then FIU registration you need to do since you are the register your entity under regulated. So FIU registration is also required. So taking all this registration requirement and taking the query, if regulator any to address that query, it is taking 3 months of time to business setup in process in GIFT City. It is taking between 3 to 4 months of time for any entity. So now we are talking about any challenges, so this is the compliance challenges. So compliance challenges is this FATF guidelines. So this FATF, that is Financial Action Task Force guidelines. So there are some, you cannot do business with the high risk embark criteria by FATF. So this FATF meeting is held every year twice, and they are based on the compliance calendar, based on the compliance process. They are putting any jurisdictions, whether it is a gray list or whether it is a blacklist. So for example, if I'm giving an example of Kenya, which is in Africa. So Kenya right now is under FATF gray list. So if you are onboarding any investors from Kenya, then you have to do some extra compliance work. So this extra compliance work incur your extra cost as well as your extra time as well. So because of this to comply this FATF guidelines, there are some extra work to extra time or an extra cost which you are incurring to get any client to onboard. Another thing is this fit and proper criteria. So your applicant you need to do your background check, financial integrity, regulatory review, and then you have to do this fit and proper status. So this fit and proper criteria is applicable for all the business owners their principal officer, directors, partners, their controlling shareholders, and it is applicable for all the entities, whether it is chartered accountant firm or whether it is a banking firm. The criteria are same for us, for each and every one. Then you have to appoint this key managed personnel. Now, this is sometimes is very headache for IFSC company to appoint principal officer and compliance officer. So if you see, Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar is not a financial market for these EIF things. So the AIF market is morely of Delhi or Mumbai or Bangalore or Chennai. So when you are incorporating any fund, you have this KMP, principal officer and compliance officer, which is sometimes is very difficult to find. So this is one of the big challenge, and there are some qualification requirement as well. To appoint this principal officer and compliance officer, they must have some years of experience, 3 to 5 years of experience. They must be have nowadays they also required to pass certain examination as well. So sometimes it is a bit challenging to appoint this principal officer and compliance officer. And before appointing this principal officer compliance officer, you cannot make your application itself as well. So this is a bit of challenge. So another thing is safeguarding domestic markets. So any entity based in IFSCA, registered with IFSCA, cannot do any business to domestic market, barring some of the exceptional cases. So for example, if you are BATF entity, or if you are a chartered accountant entity, then you cannot providing service to any of your client based out in domestic India. So this is one of the challenges, and there is no splitting up of the business. There is no asset transfer. So your staff, you need to do proper ring fencing. Your staff for domestic entity and your staff for IFSC should be completely separated. So ring fencing is very, very much important for this IFSC entity, for this IFSC regulator as well. There are some strict capitalization requirement, like if you are aircraft operating leasing, then you must have minimum $2 lakh US. If you are in finance lease, then $3 million. If you are FME, non-retail FME, then you must have capital of $1 million. Angel investor $75,000. So these are the capital requirement which is attached with every regulations. There is a operational infrastructure requirement as well, so which we discussed earlier, that you must have office in GIFT City. So many times earlier it was difficult to find office in GIFT City because there is a scarcity of offices, but nowadays there are lots of co-working space. So you can easily register any office by acquiring any co-working space on lease. So there are some compliance burden that we already have discussed earlier. So why this GIFT City is important now? So nowadays there are, whether you criticize or not, there are more than 1100 entities registered in GIFT City. So you can imagine the professional opportunities here, like compliance, whether it is statutory audit or whether it is ROC compliances or whether it is advisory services. So more than 1100 entity, which is nowadays it's itself registered with IFSC. There is an exchange volume. There are in IFSC there are 2 exchanges, that is INX, which is subsidiary of BSE, and NSE INX, which is subsidiary of National Stock Exchange. So there are more than 20,000 employees, which is right now they are working in GIFT City as well. So by doing venture capital, and you can start up ecosystem as well in IFSC registered entity as well here in GIFT City. So sir, that's from now. So whatever the question answer, we are happy to answer if there is any question.
Yeah, so Mr. Anupam Lahiri had asked one question. Is there any examination system for certification?
Sorry, for which?
Mr. Anupam Lahiri, he has whether CSCMA may be principal officer, and is there any examination system for certification?
So when you are appointed as a principal officer and compliance officer, you need to pass NISM 01 examination. That is compulsory. And And there are also there is another examination for POCO, Principal Officer and Compliance Officer, if you are registered under CMI regulation or if it is registered under Fund Management regulations, which is issued by ICSI, that is Company Secretary as well. So right now these are the two examinations that one has to clear. For all the POCO has to clear.
Now, as a matter of fact, just my question is, at present, there are approximately 4 types of professionals who are categorized under different regulatory framework. One is chartered accountants, second is company secretaries, third is advocates, and fourth is your cost and management accountants. They all have the regulatory bodies. Now, are all the 4 professionals eligible for becoming PO or CO, number one? And if, let us say, one chartered accountant want to be one PO or CO in one company which is incorporated in IFSCA, does he need any certification or by default he can come? These are the 2 questions.
So if that professionals, that is chartered accountant and company secretary, doesn't have certificate of practice, if they are not have their own firm, or if they are in partner of any other firm, if they are in employment, then they can be as a PO or CO. And if they are a principal officer and a compliance officer, still they need to pass these 2 examinations. That is NISM 01 IFSC and another examination if they are PO or CO of any fund management entity or any CMI entity.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ajay Nagpal had just asked that what is the indicative salary of a PO and a CO?
It's very case to case. It's very difficult to. It's case to case. It varies.
Any further questions from any other participant for the entire session? Or if they have any other query from regarding IFSC, GIFT City? We have a small session left by Mr. Lekha Agarwal. So that will also cover some part of the GIFT City only. I think, Mr. Dashit, you were so comprehensive that I think there's no further elaborative questions on this. Whatever you have covered, people have really taken it to heart. And thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule to take this session. We are very grateful and we hope that you will honor us with further more sessions in the coming future.
Sure, it's my pleasure, sir.
Thank you. Now, continuing further, we have Mr. Lekha Agarwal joining us from Jaipur. Mr. Lekha Agarwal will also continue with the same topic with further elaborations. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Neeraj sir. Thank you so much, Darshit sir, for joining us today on a very shorter notice and a small request of us. And it's our fortunate to have you on the dais. As I have worked closely with Darshit sir previously, and for the setting up the Indian entities in the GIFT cities. So Darshit sir has a wide experience, and I took some part of them as well while working with him. So as almost major things are covered by Darshit sir, still I am going to share my screen and sharing my presentation, and I will just keep it quickly and without wasting of time, let me start. Thank you so much. So is this my screen still visible, sir?
Not yet. Yeah. Thank you.
So as the sister already shared that what is GIFT City and what are India's first fintech city is the GIFT City, and IFSC is also there. How this is becoming the helpful for the Indian working style growth and future business opportunities here. So I have made a small presentation on the same. So Gujarat Fintech City, Gujarat International Fintech City is known as a GIFT City, and this is again the key facts are 100 acres. The total integrated development is 186 acres, and plant built up area 62 million square feet, and IFSC operationalized in early 2015. which includes the SAZE area of 261 acres and DTA area of 625 acres. And this is the dream projects of our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So this is the total planned area comprising of 67% of commercial, 22% of residential, and 11% of social space, which is now located at the bank of River Sabarmati, connecting with Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar, political capital of Gujarat. The GIFT City has the two business zones already defined. One is SAZE and IFSC, second is the DTA. So what are the major operational activities under the SEZ and IFSC? Banking units, capital market units, fund management, AIF and FMEs, insurance and reinsurance sector, fintech and techfin, aircraft and shipping leasing, bullion exchanges, global in-house centers, finance companies, and foreign universities, and other ancillary services we can provide under the SEZ or IFSC. In DTA, we can cover the operational IT and ITS operational hub like KPO, BPO, domestic banking, finance and insurance, pharmaceutical, biotech, engineering, automobiles, capital market, maritime clusters, global delivery centers, and data centers and R&D innovation centers. So these are the two zones in the GIFT City. What is IFSC? Already explained by Darshit sir. So I don't think so. My need is on the explanation of this. But the mission is as discussed that when Prime Minister that time of CM Mr. Narendra Modi visited Singapore and overseas countries and taking that financial service transaction are much more need and give elaborated way and in a well-developed infrastructure. That is the need and that is the only mission behind this. And in the IFSC, there is the RBI governance, SEBI governance, IRDA governance, and different other regulatory bodies are also governed by the IFSC mechanism. This is one of the world-class smart city infrastructure, which has distinct cooling system under utility tunnel, automatic waste management, smart water infrastructure, city command control, and tier 4 data centers. The connectivity is also there, that is 20 minutes from airport, 15 minutes from bullet terminal, which is already, and EV buses and easy access from the Ahmedabad and Gandhi. There are lots of operational buildings and social infrastructure in the GIFT City and Fintech City. So there are different towers. GIFT 1 tower, GIFT 2 tower, here under the signature, and which is the one of the biggest ever in the GIFT City as of now, and Brigade Tower, Pragya, in which SAGE IFSC unit is operating. Apart from that, there are social and lifestyle infrastructures are also there. Hotel Grand Market, GIFT City Business Club, Jamnabai Nursing School, Tata Palms Beta Center, and Niravati hospitals. These are also the social and lifestyle infrastructure. As we are aware, might be that the last field paper was also organized in the GIFT City Business Club. So, key number at a glance. So, the key numbers already discussed that it is cumulative banking transaction from the GIFT City is $1,508 billion, consisting of 37 banks, and GIFT City India's global ranking in 2025 is 46. So total banking assets is $106.7 billion, and there are almost 1,213 registered entities in March 2026. Out of that, 194 are fund management entities, 52 are insurance firm, 133 fintech, and 150 plus capital market independents. It consists of almost 25,000 plus professionals, which covers under different kind of employments in the different areas of the operation of the universities. As discussed, GIFT Cities provides the IFSC provides the incentive, tax, and regulatory frameworks. So, income tax holiday for the 10 consecutive years out of 15 years as the unit's choice. MAT and AMT, we already discussed. There is no GST, STT and CTT exemptions, commodity transaction tax, and security transaction tax, and stamp duty. There is no withholding tax on interest paid to the non-resident IFSC units. There are, what's the benefit for the investors' benefits? So there is no capital gain. So this is zero capital gain basically. Transfer of the specified security listed on the IFSC exchange by the non-resident, not chargeable to tax in India. Then long-term bond tax. So if there is a long-term bond, they're listed in the IFSC exchange, taxable at the low rate of 4%. Then non-resident income, income from offshore investment by the non-resident investor through AIF, not taxable not taxable in India. Then no return filing. Okay. When the taxable income, there is no taxable income in India, there is no need to file the income tax return in India by the AIFs. And state subsidies are also there, just like Gujarat government IT and ITES policy, lease rental, PF contribution, electricity subsidy, and PF subsidy, PF contribution subsidy, and there is stamp duty exemptions as well in the state subsidies. So this is the IFSC incentives which are actually available in the GIFT City as the investor benefits. Apart from that, there is the currently running the Gujarat government IT policies, IES policies is 22 to 27. It's currently 5 years policies there. So in this policy, if the IT, there is a township which is going to invest in the special projects under the GIFT City. So there is the benefit of 25% of capex as the Gujarat subsidy policy. Then in OPEX, there is a 50% rental subsidy for first, second year, and for third to fifth year, there is 25% subsidy. If there is a data center projects, they are eligible for the capex of 25% of eligible capex up to 1.5 billion INR. And power tariff subsidy, rupees per unit, per 1 rupee per unit for next 5 years. Then if the entity is the cloud system, the one-time capex supports for 25% eligible capex up to 200 million INR. And then R&D Institute, one-time support of 60% of machinery cost up to 50 million INR. Apart from that, there are general subsidies as well, which is capital subsidy, OPEX subsidy, electricity duty, PF contribution, interest subsidy, and employment incentives. Under the capital subsidy, there is a bracket of 25% of the capex. This is the one time up to 2000 million for investment greater than 2500 million. In OPEX, there are 15% of operating expenditure projection based on projection for 5 years up to 400 millions. Then electricity duty, 100% of electricity duty का reimbursement हो जाता है यहाँ पे next 5 years के लिए जो भी आप जब भी आपको unit approval मिलती है. And PF contribution, 100% of EPF reimbursement होता है for female employees and 75% in case of the male employees. There is also interest subsidy as well, up to 7% of term loan for 5 years, maximum 10 million per annum. And there is also employment incentive, that is 1 month, 50% of 1 month employment cost, which is to be reimbursed by the authority as a part of incentive, which is 50,000 for male employees and 60,000 for female employees. So when the GIFT City was launched in 2015, what is the IFSC journey as of now? So IFSC IFSC launches in 2015. Government of India notified its first IFSC, RBI exchange control regulations, and SEBI capital market regulations. In 2016, there were some tax reforms, tax incentive announced in budget 2016, and international exchange established. In 2017, there were arbitration tie-up with the Singapore International Arbitration Center and IDA guidelines for insurance and reinsurance. In 2018, there are AIFs operating the guidelines of alternative investment funds is issued by the SEBI. In 2019, the IFSC Act came into force, established the Unified Regulatory IFSC Authority Act 2019. In 2020, they have done one major expansion, currency derivatives permitted, IFSC banking, GIC, bullion exchange regulations they have incorporated, and aircraft leasing notified. In 2021, deeper access, resident individual permitted to invest in the foreign securities through IBUs, bullion exchange pilot launch, and REIT and InvIT listing was there. Then in 2022, the fundraiser, IFSC Fund Management Regulation 2022 was issued, and FinTech Regulatory Framework was issued. And apart from that, the revised aircraft leasing framework was also issued simultaneously. Then, what kind of banking is permitted? This is commercial banking, private banking, capital market divisions, and service sector banking is permitted. And As of now, almost 100 plus bankings are available in IFSC units, including the foreign bankers as well. So what is the banking sector growth in IFSC? In September 2020, it was around, the business was around only 40 billion USD. And in February 2026, it was of 107 billion USD. New bank, which has joined the journey of IFSC in 2025 was Qatar National Bank, First Abu Dhabi Bank, Merchant Bank, Credit Agricole, Nastric, CTBC, Society General, and Bank of Maharashtra. And when we talk about the year-to-year growth from the September 2024 to 2025, trade finance and loans are developed by 48%. Investment activities has increased by 55%, and customer deposits were increased by the 45%. Then capital market in Gift City. BSE and NSE have already set up their international exchanges in Gift City. All contract and trade are settled in the US dollars. Exchange operates almost nearly by 22 hours in a day, or with an average daily basis of volume of 4.29 billion USD. So this is all again the tremendous figures for us. And what are the products which is capital traded under the capital market? One is capital index F&O, then single stock F&O, commodities future, currency F&O, debt and bonds. So these are deliverables, and these are the commodities under which the products which they can trade it. Apart from that, there is insurance in Gift City. What is the benefits of setting up of the insurance activities? There are two types of insurance. One is direct insurance and another is reinsurance. So IRDA guidelines are also there. And 52 insurance firms are currently operational in GIFT's IFS. So in direct insurance, the offshore direct insurance business from global subsidiary of Indian conglomerates. They can establish their business and do the direct insurance business. And apart from that, there is also facility for the reinsurance. What are the eligibility conditions? The entity and promoter must be from the FATF compliant jurisdiction and fit and proper criteria to be maintained. Then insurance intermediaries, insurance brokers, corporate agents, surveyors, and TPA health agent services. They must be in that providing that kind of services. And the solvency margin to be maintained in the home country as stipulated by the home country rules and regulations, just like in the domestic land of India. Then fund management in Gift City IFSC regulator. So there are multiple kind of firms, as already Darshit sir shared, that authorized FMEs, registered FMEs, non-retail and retail. There are these funds. So the fund schemes are also there: venture capital scheme, restricted scheme, retail scheme, special situation funds, and family invested investment funds. Fund tax framework and offshore fund relocations. So there are already 194 fund management entities are there, 310 active schemes, and 133 fintech and ancillary entities operating in Gift City IFSC as of. So they are working in the category 1 and category 2 alternative investment funds. They are working in the category 3 alternative investment funds, and they are working in the FMEs through the managers. So these are the fund tax framework in the Gift City IFS. Then fintech and techfin in Gift City. So banking fintech, capital market, insurance tech, and allied fintechs, which is aggregated, climate green tech, registered tech, supplier tech, space tech, AI, ML, cyber security, KYC, AML, quantum tech, Web 3.0. So there are, that is the allied techfin, because of the setting up of the business by the Google, that is providing the robustness to the Gift City IFS. Then aircraft and ship leasing business, already discussed by the Darshit sir. So I am just escaping this slide.
So look at if interjecting in between, if we can take a couple of queries, I think.
Yeah.
One query is from Mr. Ajay Nagpal. Is there any restrictions of getting employees hired from other states?
No, sir. There is no problem in the hiring you can hire from anywhere across the globe. No issues you can even hire from the foreign nationals as well.
And they have to be based in Gift City, or they can work remotely?
No, sir. They can't work remotely. there is no remote working permit. They have to come office at their premises in the gift city only, and they have to work accordingly. Because the team of the gift city and which is the SEZ units and the officers, they may suddenly visit to your premises, and they are doing regularly certain inspection for the premises situated in the gift city. So their work from home is not permissible.
Okay. To all the participants also, please share your LinkedIn ID if possible in the chat box. We will tag you all in the post when for this event. Or you can write to us in our WhatsApp also. We have reached out to all the participants who have registered in the WhatsApp, or you can send us a mail also. And any further question for the topic which I've covered, please feel free to ask right now. No further question, Lekhaji, please continue.
Okay, thank you so much. So, finance companies and global in-house centers, which is FC, FU, and GICs, which are providing the robustness to the gift city IFSC. So, what are the core activities permitted? It's the loan commitments, guarantee and securitization, equipment leasing, aircraft and shipping financial lease, buy and selling of derivatives through the treasury center activities, and credit enhancements, factoring and forfeiting receivables. And non-core activities with specialized regulation, just like merchant banking, portfolio management services, distribution of mutual fund units and insurance, trading and clearing, members of IFSC exchange, trustee and investment advisory services, which are non-core activities, which is permissible under the gift city. Now, global in-house centers, GICs provided the support to the entities within their financial service group, like covering banks, NBFCs, investment banks, insurance companies, brokerages, firms, funds, stock exchange, and custodians. Must cater exclusively for FATF compliant group entities, which is the mandatory requirement to comply with all the FATF regulation and all the necessary compliances, and service to the non-resident entities only. So as the has already discussed that we can't provide the services to the DTA area, you must have to provide all the services to non-resident entities only. Deal with the freely convertible foreign currency only. You must follow the IFSC GIC guidelines 2020, which is revised in 2025. All IFSC tax conventions apply, 100% tax holiday, nil GST, and new GIC regulation 2025 replaced the 2020 framework. So this is another global treasury centers and international bullions exchange. So international bullion exchange is one of the IBUs, which is one of the top IBUs, subsidiaries of the IFSC entities. IBF, RBI authorized bank, DGFT nominated agencies are eligible to act as the member. Their minimum net worth required USD 10 million for the members and USD 7 million to be maintained all the times. The security deposit is 75,000 USD with bullion deposit, and physical bullion must meet exchange technical specifications and bullion clearing operations, vault managers framework in place, and which is shift the gold trade from the Dubai to gift city. That is the future of the IBUs. Apart from that, global and regional corporate treasury centers permitted a core activities of finance companies in IFSC, which required minimum capital of 3 million, operates only the freely convertible foreign currency, which is cash pooling and cash forecasting, central processing of payment, intra-group financing and capital raising, management of forex, interest risk and interest rate and credit risk, corporate financial advisory services, compliance services for the group entities, acting as reinvoicing center, and investment in the entity funds. Now, how to set up a gift unit in the gift city IFSC? What is the step-by-step process? I am just covering the overview only. So, identify the office space, select the office space from the gift city developers, and developer issues the provisional letter of allotment. Then incorporate a legal entity inside gift city only, because previously what happened that when I do the physical office outside, we have incorporated the entity outside the gift city, and then we took the transfer. That we have sometimes we have to we can't do now. That we have to must incorporate the entity within the gift city only, and we can't take the transfer from the domestic tariff area to the gift city. So the company needs to register either LLP, branch office, or other permitted forms. Then finalize space agreement, then enter into the agreement with the developer and finalization commercial terms of the office space. Then apply to the sales authorities. Then submit the application form in Form F to the sales authorities to the Sales Act 2005. Obtain the sales approval. Apply to the IFSCA. Then obtain the regulatory approval from the IFSCA and then commence the business. So these are the 8 steps in which you can set up your Gift City account easily. What are the notable companies in the Gift City? In the banking, you can see SBI, Yes Bank, IDBI, Bank of Baroda, Indian Bank, Axis Bank, SDFC, ICICI, Kotak, IndusInd Bank, RBL, Federal, Standard Chartered, HSBC, Citibank, Barclays, Futures, and Bank of America as the major players of the Indian banking system. In the insurance and intermediaries, you can see the GIC, EGC, New India Insurance, ICICI Lombard, JB Boba, and another major moves. In the capital markets, you can see the Indian INX Limited, Edelweiss, Philip Capital, Motilal Oswal, 50 plus CB registered entities, and many more. So, what is the growth and recent changes in IFSC in 2025 to 2026? That is the biggest banking sector growth as the total banking assets of 205 from 14 billion USD to 107 billion USD, which is the 7x growth in the period of less than 5 years. $135 billion plus cumulative transaction in up to May 2022, and 37 banks, 20 foreign banks and 17 domestic banks, which are doing the all-time cumulative transaction of $115,000 billion. Year-to-year growth, if we are asking about the trade finance is grown by 48% and investments are up by 55%. What are the recent regulatory changes in IFSC and FCCS reforms? So real-time settlement in foreign currency settlement system, eliminates corresponding banking, launch partners, and global club. Apart from that, there are IFSC regulatory reforms, which are the fund management relaxation, new GIC regulation, aircraft leasing, in which recently they have changes the policy to 2025, and cyber security framework. And another that there are total registration reached 1,213 in March 2026, up from the 1,114 in December 2025. Then, what in the Union Budget 2026? What are the Gift City incentives? So, previously the Gift City provided the tax holidays, which is extended up to 20 years out of 25 years of the IFSC event, versus earlier it was the 10 out of 15. Pre-tax holiday rates. After that extended holiday, business become the IFSC extended at concessional rate of 15%, which is against the normal rate of 32%. Treasury relief center, global treasury relief exempted from the deemed dividend provision, removes the tax uncertainty or intra-group financing. Zero STT and CTT extended, so it is extended up to March 2020, 5 years policy certainty. And ship leasing business, additional tax benefits for the ship leasing units, treasury center, insurance offices working with the global performance. And as already discussed, GST exemption is continuous to the Gift City units. Physical expansion from 886 to 3,300 acres by 2030. This is the under process area, under process in the different phases. And in phase 1, which is currently going on, and second phase is under process, and by 2030, they will access around to 3,300 acres by 2030. So they will enter with the acres, which is almost 4x of the existing capacity, and investment cost in 3 phases around 6,200 CRs in the roads, water, drainage, and green infrastructure. So this is working under the PPP model, public-private partnership on road transit and affordable housing in new expansion zone. Riverfront diversion. So Sabarmati Riverfront integration with the residential neighborhood, parks and lifestyle amenities, which is the amazing part of that. And social infra and fintech programs are also there for the physical expansion. Emerging business opportunities for in the Gift City. One is the capital market, bullion exchange, aircraft ecosystem, shipping leasing, future finance, ESG and green finance, longevity finance, and international arbitration. Then what can we expect the future roadmap of Gift City and the 2026 and beyond? So the employment, which is 25,000 today, which may be converted by the 2020 in next 5 years by 150,000 professionals in the fintech city and technologies roles over the next 5 years. Area, as already discussed, they are going to expand from the 886 acre to 3,300 acres, and full built out expected around by 2030. Banking, which is of 106 billion USD as of now, towards the 150 billion most likely by this year. So most foreign banks joined, and FCSS scaling is also there. Mumbai Ahmedabad high speed railway is also there. Gold Club in the Gift City is also there. Shifted from bullion trade from Dubai to Gift City, India. Foreign universities are also there. Arbitration hub is also there. And these are all because of the Viksit Bharat project of the flagship project of India's developed nation vision is 2047, 100 years of our glory. So this is the all the Gift City is not longer a vision; it's a vibrant global reality as of. So this is all from my side. Thank you so much for listening carefully. And if someone has the questions, please let me.
So Lekharji, here I would like to add a couple of more things as well. So there is one
Yes.
is the VCC structure. So
Yes,
that is the variable capital company structure. So Gift City, so this IFSC regulator is planning to implement this VCC structure as well. It seems very difficult, but if they in any way, if they are able to implement, then this is the big boost. Because if you see the Singapore Monetary Authority, correct, SMA. So SMA will be boost only after coming of this VCC structure only. But since we are in SEZ, it seems a bit difficult, but still government is trying to do this VCC structure. Another big thing is this acquisition finance. So if you want to acquire any big company which has a worth of 15,000 crores or 20,000 crores, so if you go with any of Indian bank, then it's difficult to get the finance. But if you get any of the banking in IFSCA, because of they have reserves in the foreign currency, they can help you in this acquisition finance as well. And the last one is this tokenization. So IFSCA is going to be the first regulator who is going to do this tokenizations. When they are coming up with this, the final regulations that we don't know, but this tokenization is also going to a game changer like FME.
Yes, sir, definitely.
That's it. Okay, Neeraj.
So, Mr. Lekharji, thank you, Mr. Rashidji. So, we have a couple of queries. The first one is from Mr. Anupam Lahari. What is the system of dispute resolution in Gift City? Which law is applied? To Mr. Lekharji.
The Gift City, the IFSC authorities are the dispute resolution. They are the regulatory bodies for the Gift City Regulation and Dispute Resolution Authority. They will play a role for the dispute resolutions. So Gift City's IFSC Act will applicable, and IFSC Act which is regularly amended, which is applicable in the IFSC authorities for resolution of all kind of disputes for that.
If I am not wrong, at one point of time, there was a committee headed by Dr. M.S. Sahu, who was the former chairman of IBBI. Now, he had prepared one report regarding the institutional arbitration in IFSCA framework. Now, is it under the implementation stage?
Yes, sir, it is under implementation stage.
Okay.
There's a second question from CS Siddhi ji. She is saying that what are the opportunities for practicing company secretary in Gift City? She is based out of Baroda.
Okay. So basically, we as a company secretary can help the organization in the first of all helping the organization in the setting up of the business in the GIFT City, which is the major role we can play. We can do the sales authorities working. We can do the licensing with the major part of the licensing documentation and regulatory compliance framework, and we can be the compliance officer for the GIFT City, and we can guide as Darshit sir is doing the guidance for the all the kind of the GIFT Cities entities.
So I would like to add on from that. So for company secretary, there are various reports that is required by CMI regulations entity. So broker dealer need to have half yearly reports, then half yearly certificates, compliance relating to certificates. So all these certificates also need to submit to IFSC as well. So there is ample opportunity for professional like company secretary as well.
Or in addition to that, we need to file the MPR, APR with the regular sales authorities as well. So we can help the entity set up the business in the GIFT City. We can help them out to filing the proper filing of the these kind of reports as well. So this is the regular revenue generation activity for the practicing company secretaries.
Thank you, Lekha ji. Thank you, Darshit ji. Chitra ji, hope this answers your query. Anybody has any further questions for either of the two speakers? So I think there's no other further questions, but before we go, we would like to hear something from Mr. Anupam Dhari. Sir, please enlighten us about the functioning, your role in Niti Aayog, and what are the new things we should be all getting up for.
Good afternoon. I am working in the Niti Aayog in respect of two verticals. One is law vertical and second is mines and minerals. Both the verticals are created comparatively in a recent period of time. And I am the first person who is looking after the vertical of law as an independent person, because in all other cases it was merged with some division or the other. Now, what I have seen that one of the point which needs intervention in as far as the policy part is concerned, that is regulatory reforms in respect of financial sector. Now, in that respect, we are working, but still it is a very early to do anything. We are also engaging with different stakeholders. I am also attending various types of conferences to get more ideas. One such idea which struck to me is regarding the institutionalization of dispute resolution system, the arbitration and mediation. And second, though, the variable capital companies, that report came some years back. That committee was also chaired by Dr. M.S. Sahu. That was, I think, in 2022 or 23 that report came. But that actually we are also looking after it so that we can contribute in a meaningful manner. Plus, other legal reforms also we are associated as a national think tank, and in that process, we will be very happy to associate with IFSCA or GIFT City. That also is there as a future agenda. At this point of time, we are having most of the work is already defined as far as this financial year is concerned. But in future, of course, we will make one engagement. That is one perspective agenda.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So we are at the end of the session. If any of the participants would like to do a vote of thanks for both the speakers, please feel free. I think, Mr. Ajay, you had the most query. In case if you can unmute and give a vote of thanks.
Oh, thank you very much, Neeraj ji. I really thank Darshit ji and Lekhak ji and also Anupam ji and all the participants for carrying out such an interactive and insightful session. Probably in the formal sessions, you don't get a chance to talk much actually. But in this session, I found the speakers and everybody very receptive. And I really thank, and I think we all are thankful and look forward to more sessions like this to take forward the relationships. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay. Yes, Mr. Bhachandu.
Yeah, thank you very much for organizing such a knowledgeable seminar. From my side, I was totally blank, so I have attended this session just to know the whereabouts and in the coming seminar certainly I would be coming with some questions and some input I'll add to this also. Thank you for all the speakers and thank you for organizers. Thank you very much.
So we'd like to make an announcement that our next webinar is on the 4th of July, and that will cover topics of investment advisory and RA registration with SEBI and compliances. That will be taken by Ms. C.S. Anjali from Dubai, and from India we will be having Ms. Jivika, who is also a company secretary. That will be on the 4th of July, and the details will be shared to all of the participants of today via WhatsApp, via email also. So hope to see you all in that session also. And we already have shared our mobile number, email IDs, LinkedIn. I have asked, we'll again reach out to all the participants for their LinkedIn IDs so that we can tag you all in the post. And yeah, hopefully we'll have another session by Mr. Darshit, Mr. Lekhak in the coming future with more elaborations on Gift City, because it's a very interesting area. And I think there's so many layers to cover in it. From team of Interact, I thank you both the speakers for joining. Lekhaji, you have been part of the Fintrack community for a while now. Rashidji, thank you for taking this first session of yours. And thank you to all the participants for taking out time on a Saturday weekend. So yeah, that's all from our side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.